NCAA football will not be seen today. Stay tuned now for Husky football.
This is a Como 4 sports special. Now, live from Husky Stadium in Seattle, here's Como 4 News Sports Director Bruce King.
Good afternoon and welcome to an excited Husky Stadium here in Seattle, where the Huskies are set now to take on Bo Schembechler's Michigan Wolverines. It's the first time that Michigan's been in Seattle since 1970, and you remember what in the world happened in 78 and then 81 in the Rose Bowl. They are 1-1 there. We're looking forward to just a great football game this afternoon. It is the 7th meeting between the Wolverines and the Huskies. The Wolverines lead in the series 5-1. Working with me in the broadcast booth again this afternoon, as he did last week at Northwestern, is the former defensive coordinator of the Huskies and now the head coach of the Philadelphia Stars, the United States Football League, Jim Mora. And Jimmy, I know being a coach and a guy who coached here, you get excited on a day like this when it's a sellout crowd and a team like Michigan coming into play.
Bruce, this is the epitome of collegiate football right here today. It's a fantastic fall afternoon. You got two great universities. You have two of the outstanding programs in the country, two of the best coaches in the country, and that Husky team just came out of the tunnel a minute ago, and I got goosebumps, believe me.
They're calling it right now the Rose Bowl of the North, a confrontation between, as you'd mentioned, two great coaches in Don James and Bo Schembechler. Again, it comes down to coaching, a game like this. Two guys who have similar styles, really, in their coaching philosophy.
Well, both Don and Bo have done a great job of recruiting. You know, they've got a great product to sell in Michigan and the University of Washington. They've done a great job of assembling a fine group of athletes, and they're very similar. You know, they're very strong defensively, an outstanding kicking game, and a minimum of mistakes, and this is the reasons why they've been successful.
Now, what kind of game do you think it's going to be? You coached against Michigan in that 78 Rose Bowl game when you won by a score of 27-20. What kind of game do you think it's going to be today?
Well, I'm not a very good predictor, but when you play two teams like this, I anticipate a low-scoring game. Two great defensive teams. You know, this is going to be a lot different than playing against Northwestern last week. The Huskies going to have a little bit difficult time scoring, so I anticipate a low-scoring, close football game.
Interesting, Washington opens with that 34-0 win over Northwestern last week. Michigan struggles against Washington State, winning by a score of 20-17 in a game that Washington State really had a chance to win, and a game probably they should have tied. So it'll be interesting to see today what kind of football team that Michigan really has, or is Washington State that good?
Yeah, this will be a great test for the Huskies, and Washington State, I've heard things that they're a pretty good football team over there this year. Michigan did not have their quarterback last week, so that'll be different. It'll be an interesting confrontation. It really will be.
Working with us on the sideline at today's game, as he did last week in Evanston, Illinois, and Northwestern. But today, just a little bit cooler, and he's wearing the rain gear because he's not sure about the weather, and that's Harry Sloan. Harry?
I'll tell you one thing, Bruce, I wasn't sure at all when I left the house this morning. I was expecting a monsoon here today at Husky Stadium. In fact, I brought enough Gore-Tex to cover the field, and I even wore my duck boots, because I know this is Seattle and it rains here, but it's not going to do that today. It is just a gorgeous day here at Husky Stadium. We will play under sunny skies here today. The crowd is just beginning to come in. The student body, well, they were here at 10 o'clock, and I'm telling you, they're juiced and ready for this game. Both Michigan and Washington have been conducting their pregame drills for about 10 minutes now. Bill Bissell warmed up the student body. They didn't need any warming. I'm telling you, this is going to be one exciting place to be. The Huskies and Wolverines, and we're going to see it all today. Bruce, let's toss it back upstairs.
Oh, Harry, thank you very much. We're looking forward to really a good football game. Washington 4.5-point favorite to win, and that's a very interesting line coming into this game because, as you know, Bo Schembechler puts a pretty good defensive unit on the field, and it's going to test Washington today. We'll be back to take a closer look at the two coaches and the two teams right after this timeout.
Back to Husky Stadium today, where the University of Washington will take on the Michigan Wolverines. It should be quite a day here at Husky Stadium under sunny skies. A beautiful day for football. The University of Washington, well, they are just 25 minutes away from kickoff, and that kickoff will tell what kind of team that this University of Washington will have this year. The sellout crowd just beginning to take their seats right now. It is hot and sunny, as I said. Two strong defenses today going against each other. Two offenses going against those defenses that are yet really unproven. The Huskies and Wolverines, and it should be quite a matchup.
The last time these two teams met in regular season play was back in 1970, the Sunny Six Killer era. Michigan had an offensive lineman named Reggie McKenzie.
They also had a better team, winning that day in Husky Stadium by a score of 17-3. The next two meetings of these teams occurred in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. The Huskies winning following the 1977 season 27-20 and losing in 1981 23-6. Don James versus Bo Schembechler, the Husky-Wolverine rubber match today here at Husky Stadium. The Huskies, like Michigan, won their season opener, although Washington will definitely be stepping up in class. Michigan certainly a team with more talent than Northwestern. The Huskies know that all too well, and it showed in their practice this week.
Tuesday was an excellent practice, probably one of our better ones. We came out Wednesday, we had to back off a little bit because the aggressiveness was to the point where we were afraid of losing players, but I think they calmed down and got to the practice tempo that we wanted. They had a good week. I don't have any complaints on the preparation at all.
In preparing for Michigan, James has had to set up defenses for two quarterbacks. Senior Dave Hall, who started last week against Washington State, and Steve Smith, certainly the most talented of the quarterbacking corps, who has been nursing a shoulder injury.
You have to assume that you're going to see the guy. If you work all week and assume he's not going to play, then he plays, and you're not prepared at all for the quarterback option of the running game. And so, there's not a great deal of difference in the offense, but I think Smith just gives them a much better runner in the backfield.
Michigan is a team that likes to control the ball. Long drives are their bread and butter. Defenses must be strong at the point of attack and must be able to get their support people involved quickly.
You have to have the same kind of patience that they've got offensively. They want to take it and hammer at you and then get you to overreact and get everybody maybe to think that they've got to go and stop the play, and then they'll get their big play off of breaking outside or running a reverse off of it or a play action pass. And so I think the key thing is just poise, stay at home, make sure you know what the play is, then hustle to get there.
Linebacker Tim Meamber led the team in tackles against Northwestern with 14. He knows he's stepping up in class today and knows what he has to do to get the job done.
Get a new chin strap, make sure it's a little tighter, strap the shoulder pads on a little tighter, and just get ready to knock some heads on Saturday.
In football, like in chess, you control the middle, you control the game. The burden of that will fall in part on the shoulders of middle guard Dean Browning, who will be tussling with a preseason All-American pick, center Tom Dixon. Browning's been checking him out on film all week.
He's more of a position blocker where he'll get in the way of where you want to be going to get to the ball carrier. Then he doesn't really just come out and blow you off the ball. He'll position you and just make sure that you don't get to the ball.
And so to attack a player like that, what do you have to do?
Well, basically you just got to get into him and get off of him real quick and not let him get that position on you.
Defensive tackle Ron Holmes is one of the Huskies hoping to keep Michigan contained today. He believes in stopping the run first, after which he says everything will fall into place. He expects a real physical battle today.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be one of them brawlers, you can't put it on the back burner or nothing. It's just going to have to go toe-to-toe on him.
On offense, the Huskies ran up over 500 yards against Northwestern. Danny Green, who caught 3 passes for 27 yards last Saturday, admits it might be a bit tougher today.
Yes, Michigan has a very physical secondary. Their strong safeties are exceptionally quick. The cornerbacks play excellent man coverage. They might be one of the best defenses we might face this year.
You'll get your first look today at fullback Rick Finney. The highly recruited freshman missed the Northwestern game with a hip injury. He has recovered and will play his first college game today.
It's going to be pretty exciting to go out there and 60,000 people, and I'm not sure what it's going to be like yet. I just heard about it, and I'm not sure what it's like to go out there and play a college game. I'm excited. I'm getting a little nervous now, and I just can't wait to get it started.
We're going to do that in about 20 minutes from right now. A big question mark for the Huskies today, though, will be their punting game. Mike Zimmerman averaged only 29 yards against Northwestern last week back in Evanston, Illinois, but he's had a good week of practice, and we should see improved concentration and an improved drop of the ball make him punt a little longer today. Don James and Ray Dorr were out earlier this afternoon, checking him with the stopwatch, checking his hang time, checking the drop of the ball, and everything looked okay. He was booting about 40 yards, so we should see Mike Zimmerman punting well today. For the moment, Bruce, that's about it from field side. Let's go back upstairs.
Well, you were looking at a quarterback by the name of Steve Pallure just a moment. Now you're looking at Bo Schembechler as he gets his team ready to face the Huskies here today. Interesting battle at quarterback, and that is Steve Smith is number 16. You're now looking at Dave Hall, who started against Washington State last week. played the entire football game. Smith has been sidelined by injuries. Pallure, well, he started with a bang last week against Northwestern. Completed 21 of 32 for 211 yards. And just played very, very well. Huskies know that they have to play, that Steve Pallure has to play well if they're going to play well, and he got off just to a great start.
Steve Pallure, I think, is the key to the Husky football success this year. And he started off last week with a bang, had a great opening game, and I think this did a world of good for his confidence, and I see no reason why he can't continue to get better and better and have a great year.
Steve Pallure from Interlake. This could be a big, big year for him. Steve Pallure, you know, is the senior, 6'4", 210. Now let's talk a little bit about the guy by the name of Steve Smith. You saw up there just a moment ago. Number 16, injured in the UCLA game in the Rose Bowl this year. Had to come out. Outstanding runner. A lot of people think this guy is the best running quarterback there is in college football today. He makes the Michigan offense really go. He was hit from behind during practice, we understand, during preseason practice, and he was injured. Wasn't the same thing. Didn't dislocate the shoulder, but an injury. And he's had some problems with that, but Bo says wants to play him today, and that could be a key thing. Word we have, he will start, but we'll see when they go to the locker room and then come back out to see whether Hall or Smith will start in the game. If Smith starts, I'll tell you, Jim, and he runs with the ball at all, it could be quite an offensive show as far as Michigan's concerned.
Anytime you got a quarterback that can run and threaten you with the run, it creates a lot more problems defensively, and I know that Don and his defensive staff are concerned about this. You know, the fact that he has been injured, Bo might have told him, well, Steve, we don't want you running with the ball. Don't take any chances of getting hurt. So we might not see him running the ball as much as he normally would. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Steve Pallure getting his team ready to go at the open end of the field, the south end of the field here at Husky Stadium. Harry mentioned just a great, great day. And this is the time, I think, before a football game like this that, as you mentioned earlier in the pregame, the adrenaline begins to run, and you begin to say, you know, how in the world are we going to do? And we'll be back to talk about that. Michigan and Washington right after this. Against Michigan, just minutes away now, and on the sideline, as you look at some of the boats parked along Husky Stadium here, on the sideline right now, Harry Sloan with the Huskies offensive coordinator, Bob Stahl.
We thank you, Bruce. Bob, you had pretty much your own way against Northwestern last week, racking up over 500 yards on offense. But today, certainly a different story, going up against a Michigan defense that is tough. They are aggressive and they are fast. So how do you move a ball on a team like Michigan?
I think we got to be balanced like we were last week. We've got to be able to run and throw and keep them off guard. They're very aggressive. They're very quick. They're the typical Michigan teams you've seen in the past. They're ranked number 1 in some polls, as high as probably 10, but they're an excellent football team.
Now, the punting game, a big question for you last week. Have you seen much improvement there from Mike Zimmerman?
Well, we're still working that. Zimmerman will try out kicking. We've got another freshman named Gilbert that may get a shot today, so we'll see what happens today.
If there is a key to this game offensively, what would it be?
I think elimination of mistakes. The team that makes probably the fewest mistakes will probably win the game.
All right. We wish you luck.
Thank you.
They should be 2-0 at the end of this afternoon. At least we hope so here at Husky Stadium. The atmosphere, it is electrifying right here, and the game hasn't even started. Most of the people have filled in their seats, and they are ready to go. Both teams have left the field. As for Michigan, well, when you lose an incomparable player like Anthony Carter and your starting quarterback has shoulder problems, you are in trouble, right? Well, don't forget, this is Michigan, a team that has won 81% of its games with Bo Schembechler as its head coach. The Wolverines did win their opener against Washington State 20-17, but to hear Schembechler tell it, they are a long way from becoming a good team.
We still have some problems that we haven't worked out yet. We've got to get better performance out of our offensive line, although Dixon and Humphreys played extremely well. We've got to get a better passing going. You can't survive with 50 yards passing. I mean, that's not going to get it done, or not passing to your wide receivers. Our secondary's got to play with a little more intensity, a little more toughness, and I think they will. Our linebackers, we got to get better action out of our linebackers, but you know, all of those things were not a washout. It's just that we'd like to have it better if we intend to win a championship.
As we told you earlier, Michigan's #1 quarterback Steve Smith continues to suffer from a shoulder injury. He adds dimension to the Wolverine offense, a fact Schembechler knows all too well.
He gives such a fit to defensive coordinators because he can run as well as pass. And that dimension makes them nervous.
On defense, Michigan, like the Huskies, is fast, aggressive, and disciplined. Sitting in the middle of the line at nose guard is junior Al Sinsich. He has a lot of respect for the Huskies.
Their offense is similar to ours. I said, a lot of coaches, are saying they run the same kind of off tackle and stuff like this. And we worked hard this week in practice, and I hope we'll be ready for them.
There are those that say that this is a down year for the Wolverines. Would you go along with that?
No. I say this year is more of a team effort than anything. I think that it's stronger. I think the team is stronger in more ways, than it was last year.
Anchoring the offensive line will be two potential All-Americans, Tom Dixon at center and guard Stephon Humphreys. What have they seen on film that tells them they'll be able to move the ball against Washington?
Well, I haven't seen much that tells us that we can move the ball on them because they have excellent defense. I think that if we are able to stay on our blocks, we will move the ball.
Do you look to run against the Huskies more than pass?
As you know, we're a running team, but I think we'll do some passing also.
For Humphreys, this is more than just an intersectional game. This is Big Ten versus Pac-10, and the Midwest team has something to prove.
Big Ten in the past few years has been belabored as a league that's going down. And I think we look to all our intersectional game as a time where we come out and try to prove ourselves as a league.
Today's game may be a prelim for another matchup between the Huskies and the Wolverines on New Year's Day, a matchup in the Rose Bowl.
Hey, it's a definite possibility, and I'm looking forward to that too. If that occurs, it'd be great.
And I'm sure neither Don James nor Bo Schembechler would mind that a bit. Again, the question of the quarterback for Michigan. Will it be number 16, Steve Smith, or number 7, Dave Hall? In watching Steve Smith earlier during warm-ups, he was throwing without any restriction, but that isn't his forte. His forte is running the ball, and Bo Schembechler does not want to get him hurt because he's got a conference opener coming up next week against Wisconsin. So we will see him start, but we will more than likely not see him run. Bo Schembechler electing to protect him. But then again, this is college football and anything can happen. Well, the Husky Band is entertaining the sellout crowd here at Husky Stadium right now under beautiful sunny skies. We are getting close to that kickoff between the Huskies and Wolverines. Bruce, let's go back upstairs.
We mentioned you that the capacity of Husky Stadium, 59,800, the all-time record over 60,000, 60,975. Remember, that was Alabama in 1978, and they may have that big a crowd here today. Perfect afternoon for football. We hope you enjoy our telecast. The kickoff coming up, about 10 minutes, 13 minutes from now at 1:35. A couple of games being played across the country right now. Final in Clemson 16 and Georgia 16. Iowa 28, and we believe it's Penn State 28. Penn State coming back. If we look at our notes here right, and the notes are right that are given to us, they scored 21 points in the second half, and Penn State's going to have to come back and win that game against Iowa, try to get back on the board.
Penn State, I've lived back there in Philadelphia, and Penn State has been taking a lot of harassment back there because of they're off to an 0-2 start, especially last week when they got beat by Cincinnati. So this is a big game for them, and if Joe Paterno could win this one, I think it would get them back on the right track.
Notre Dame leading Michigan 14-7. They are playing now in the second quarter at Notre Dame. Washington against Michigan, interesting battle because Don James was an assistant coach at Michigan back in 1966 and 67 as a defensive coach there before he moved on. That was before the Bo Schembechler era. If you look back at the coaching records between the two schools and the two coaches, Don James, ninth season at Washington, 68-26, and his teams, as you know, have gone to 4 straight bowl games over the last 4 years. They are 4-1 in bowl games since he has been at Washington, but this is the first time they have ever met in a regular season game. Bo Schembechler in his 15th season at Michigan, 132 wins, 28 losses, and 3 ties. He has never had a losing season in 21 years as a head football coach. And Jim, being a head football coach, that is difficult.
That's incredible, because I don't care how good a coach you are, how good a program you got. Every once in a while, something's going to catch up to you, and you're going to, you might slip to a 4-6 or a 5-6 or something like that. And the fact that he hasn't had a losing season is really amazing for the number of years that he's coached.
Pac-10 scheduled today. Other games of note as you look at the crowd here in anticipation of the Washington-Michigan game coming up here in just a few minutes. Arizona at Washington State today. Very, very interesting battle. Arizona's Wildcats, are they as good as a lot of people think they are? Or is Washington State really the surprise team, as Jim Walden says they will be in the Pac-10 conference? As you know, Washington State barely lost to Michigan last week, 20-17. And I don't know, Jim, that's going to be a good fight over there. And don't be surprised if Washington State doesn't play very, very well against Arizona.
Well, like I said earlier, I've heard some comments from people that have seen the Cougars practice so far this year that they're a good football team, good solid football team, and we'll find out today because Arizona, it looks like they're the kind of team that people have predicted them to be in the preseason ratings. They've just really torn up a couple of teams early, and if Washington State can hang in there with them or possibly even beat them, I think it's going to make this Pac-10 conference even more competitive than most people thought it would be.
Also today, Arizona State at UCLA, another interesting game coming up. USC travels to Corvallis to take on Oregon State. Stanford at Illinois. San Jose State plays at California, and the Oregon Ducks, they are idle today. Sellout crowd. Feel around 60,000 here on a perfect afternoon to watch Washington battle Michigan, and we're looking for some kind of battle, I'll tell you that. You see some of the camera crews, our camera crew, up in the west end zone here. Some of the fans just enjoying the sunshine on this perfect day. Forecast, as we mentioned earlier, was for rain today. Still may get it before the day is out. But if you're someone who enjoys water and going to a football game, what a perfect place to be but Husky Stadium today. We're being entertained right now by the University of Washington Marching Band. A sort of band day for them here today as they get ready to put on a show before this crowd of close to 60,000.
You know, Bruce, when you come back to a place like Husky Stadium, you really appreciate what a fantastic place it is to attend a college football game. There isn't a better place in the country as far as I'm concerned, a more prettier environment, the lake, the sunshine, the people, the spirit, everything about it really makes it a great place. I think when you're here, when I was here before, I don't know if you really appreciate it, but when you get away and you see other stadiums and then you come back, you appreciate the beauty and the excitement of the Northwest and of University of Washington football.
And we'll be back with more University of Washington football and the pregame show right after this. Now the national anthem is played by the University of Washington Marching Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we request a moment of silence to honor the memory of a great American and special friend of the University of Washington, the late United States Senator Henry M. Jackson. As the colors are presented by the Naval ROTC Color Guard, please stand and honor America by joining the combined band and Bob McGrath in our national anthem.
Guys, come here. It is football time. Washington against Michigan. Let's go to the sideline now. Another report from Harry Sloan. Harry?
I'm telling you, Bruce, these are the professionals. Now, these people know what they're doing, right? This is the Husky Rally Squad, and they're ready to go. But I want you to take a look at the stands right now because These people are rowdy, and they've been going since 10 o'clock this morning. When Michigan came out on the field, they had some very unsavory things to say about them. I'm telling you, this is a rooting section right here, and they are going to get the human wave going. We should see the human wave like we've never seen it before. I'm telling you, it's really electrifying down here on this side of the field. I'm sure over on the other side of the field is just as good. You go all the way around here, there is not a seat to be found. It is quite a stadium. It's full, and we're going to have a great day of football. Thank you very much. Let's toss it back upstairs.
You see the Michigan captains coming out on the field right now. Stephon Humphreys, that's number 76. He is the All-American candidate at left guard. And John Lott, number 44, coming out the center of the field. What happens now, Jim? You're in the locker room. You're talking to your team. What are you talking to them about?
You know, Bruce, really, most of the talking's been pretty much done by now. And I know, having worked with Don really isn't one to give a pregame pep talk. He spends Friday afternoon, he gives his his final talk to the team, and he'll just make a few comments. You know, already hit it on the nail on the head as far as what it's going to take as far as winning or losing this game. And he's not going to say much. You don't have to say much to it.
Please stand by.
And they are 1-1. So we're looking forward to just a great football game, and we'll be back with more of the pregame and the opening kickoff right after this. On the field, they win the toss. They elect to receive. They will defend the goal to our left, which is the west end zone here at Husky Stadium. Michigan defending the open end zone at the stadium. Washington will receive. Remember last week against Northwestern, Jim, because of the wind, they elected to kick off the football, but this time they want the ball.
Yeah, they want a chance to, they want their hands on the ball. You know, there's no wind factor, nothing like that. They want the ball, and they want to see what they can do against that strong Michigan defense, and they'll take it anytime they can get it today.
Earl Sorgan is the referee. The umpire is Walt Wolf. Bob Zelenka, the head linesman. Charles Zubin is the line judge. Tom Sifram, the field judge. The side judge is John Aldrin. The back judge, William Thayer. And the alternate is Jay Schurz. So we're set to go. You look at Don James. You look at the officials in the field right now. And we're set to go. Washington against Michigan. We're looking forward to just a good football game. Back deep for Washington on the kickoff. Danny Green and Sterling Hines as the Huskies gather around Don James on the far side of the field. And Bo Schembechler talking to his team just a moment ago, and he sends them out. Todd Schlope, 5'10", 163. He's the senior from Orchard Park, New York. Will kick it off. An interesting thing about this guy by the name of Schlope, his name is spelled S-C-H-L-O-P-Y. He's the #1 alpine skier in the central United States.
Is that right?
Year. Can you believe? You have a son I know is an outstanding skier as well. But Schlope is an outstanding skier. He will kick it off, and he's a barefoot kicker, as you see. Washington against Michigan, first meeting here since 1970. Michigan won that ball game by a score of 17-3, and at that time, Sonny Sixkiller was only a sophomore, his second varsity game. A crowd of close to 60,000 on hand for this. We're very happy you're with us. I hope you enjoy the telecast. I'm Bruce King, along with Jim Mora and Harry Sloan, as we get set to go. Washington against Michigan. Washington ranked 16th in the country, Michigan 8th in the country. Sports Illustrated felt at the beginning of this season that Michigan was the #1 team in the country. And they will kick the ball off from the near hash mark. Schlope is set. The crowd comes up on their feet and they roar. Short driving kick. It'll be run back by Danny Green. Green at the 15 gets up to the 20. It hit just short of the 20 and falls across the 20-yard line. And the Huskies will put it in play at the 21st and 10. Tim Anderson making the stop for Michigan on the play. So for Washington, Steve Pallure will start at quarterback. And the running backs will be Walt Hunt and Sterling Hines. Dave Stransky, the flanker, and Danny Green will be the split end. Across the line, Maher, Mowry, Ernest, Brosey, Dotson, and the tight end, Larry Michael.
Well, the Huskies are starting off a little less field position this first drive they did last week, Bruce. We'll see what they can do with it.
Split backs as you see. 1st and 10 at the 20. Huskies moving toward the open end of the field. Pallure to throw right off the bat. Goes over the middle to the tight end. That's Larry Michael with the ball. Up across the 27 to the 28. Picks up 8 yards in the play. Make it 2nd and 2 for Washington.
You know, I talked to Bob Stahl this morning. I asked him what their offensive coordinator, I asked him what the play was. The first play he was going to call, and he told me, and that's exactly what it was. I thought he was kidding at the time, but that's what they called.
DeFelice, Sincic, and Brooks in the defensive line. You see the linebackers for Michigan. 2nd and 8 for Washington. The ball at the 28. Hines in motion. Handoff to Hunt. Going to be hit just short of 30. Falls across the 30 and picks up the first down. Good second effort by Walt Hunt. Hunt, as you know, is the junior from Highline who just had an outstanding game last week in the win over Northwestern. And Sincic is the man who made the stop. Defensive secondary, Lott, Cochran, Hewlett, and Cooper for Michigan.
I think they're going to measure, Bruce.
It's very, very close. I thought the second effort he might have been close enough, but you know, they might be just short by the nose of the football.
I think he made it, but we'll see here in a minute.
I don't think he did either. Just by the nose of the football, as you see. 3rd down for Washington and about 3 inches. So the Huskies facing their first 3rd down of the ball game. 14-10 to play first quarter. Husky Stadium, no score between Washington and Michigan. Huskies with a football for the first time. And now face 3rd and about 3 inches.
This is a big down for him, big play. You got to pick up these 3rd and short yardage situations.
Michigan digs in. Not a big defensive line. We'll talk about that in a minute. Pallure dives straight ahead behind the block of Rosie on the right side, and he gets the first down. Husky guards played very well last week against Northwestern in the shutout there. Rosie and Mowry. Rosie number 64.
You know, the quarterback sneak is really the best short yardage play when you've got like a foot or 2 feet to go. A lot of teams won't do it because they're afraid to get their quarterback hurt. But obviously the Huskies don't feel that way. It's almost impossible to stop.
Ball on the 32, just short of the 32. 1st and 10 there. Halfway between the hash marks. The Huskies shift with the tight end on the left side. Slot left with the fullback. Pitch to Hines. Closes in a hurry. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Tom Hassel, 3-year letterman out of Cincinnati, in to make the stop for the Wolverines. Hines last week, 12 carries for 80 yards, scored a couple of touchdowns, had one for 31 yards. Stopped as he tries to run around the left side. Hassel making a fine defensive play for Michigan, so it brings up 2nd and 10 now for Washington at the 32. 13:06 to go first quarter. No score between the Huskies and the Wolverines. Pallure to throw again. The pass was intended on the outside for his fullback, Walt Hunt. Just throws the ball a little bit too high. Rich Hewlett covering on the play. Strong safety position for the Wolverines.
This
Washington,
is a play-action pass. They put
down.
Hunt in the flat there, and he was open, but Steve overthrew him.
Pallure last week, as we mentioned at the start of the show, 21 of 32 for 211 yards. Got off to a great start. Threw it a little high. That's been one of the things he does sometimes.
He was last week.
3rd down and 10. Straight back to throw. Plenty of time. Great catch up at the 48-yard line by Dave Stransky. Oh, what a beauty for a first down. Rodney Lyles was covering on the play. We isolate on Stransky, and you'll see what he does. The senior from Cedro Woolley.
Michigan's in a zone defense. They didn't get hardly any pass rush at all. Steve had all day to find him. He found the open zone, and they completed the pass.
1st and 10 for Washington now. The ball at the 48. The Washington 48. No score. First quarter. Inside. Hines. He steps his way across midfield into Michigan territory and takes the ball across the 48 to near the 47. So he picks up 5 yards in the play. 2nd and 5. Hassel making the stop for Michigan. He's the leading defensive player for the Wolverines. 111 tackles last year. 12-11 to play first quarter. No scores we'd mentioned. You're looking in the Husky huddle. They are now facing 2nd and 5 at the 47, the Michigan 47. Steve Pallure, the senior from Interlake, running the attack for Washington. Left side, scramble for the ball. Maybe loose. Did Michigan get it back? They did. Hand off to Hunt on the left side. He lost the football. DeFelice was the man who came up with the loose football. He's the senior from Trenton, Michigan. Here it is again.
It's just a straight handoff, a straight dive off an option fake, Bruce, and it looked to me like he might have been down, but apparently he wasn't. You know, it's interesting to note that last week the Huskies did not throw an interception, did not fumble the football, and here again in the first drive, they've turned it over one time, and this is going to be critical in a game like this.
Well, the question is answered now. Number 16 is there, Steve Smith. This his first start of this year. Last time that he was in on an offensive play for Michigan was in the Rose Bowl against UCLA. Steve Smith, tailback, hit at the line of scrimmage, picks up only a couple of yards on the play. And that's Rick Rogers.
You know, both these teams like to run the football and would like to establish a running game. However, I think in a game like this, the teams that can throw the ball most effectively, especially on the early downs, might have the best chance offensively.
Ball at the 47, the Michigan 47. 2nd and 8. That's Steve Smith, the quarterback from Grand Blanc, Michigan. A senior. To throw. It is complete to the tight end at the 40. Takes the ball down to the Washington 37. Sim Nelson from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the sophomore.
Here again, they're faking a little counter play back, and then Smith rolls out. I think he was looking for the wide out, but he was covered, so they threw to the tight end coming across. One thing Michigan is doing, Bruce, is they're flip-flopping their tight end. He lines up on one side, then goes to the other side, and this creates a little confusion for the defense.
1st and 10 for Michigan now at the Washington 37. Wolverines have the ball for the first time. The Huskies gave it up on a fumble just a moment ago. Motion to the left. Pitch to the tailback, Rogers. Looking for some running room. Gets it. Finally run out of bounds at the 25. The Washington 25. Good enough for the first down. Picks up 11 yards in the play. Vince Albritton finally runs Rogers out of bounds. But it's good enough for the first down. Rogers last week rushed for 124 yards and averaged a little over 6 yards a carry. For Michigan, you see their offensive set. Smith, Rogers the tailback, Rice the fullback, Johnson and Bean the wide receivers.
The Huskies didn't have anybody to come up and turn that thing back inside like they should. Every time you run a play to the outside, somebody's got to be responsible for turning it back inside.
Michigan up in the eye. 1st and 10 now at the 25. Fullback straight ahead. Hit as he hits the center line, picks up a couple, and he may have lost the football for just a second, but Armstrong picks up 2 on the play. Make it 2nd and 8 now. The ball at the 23. The Washington 23. Michigan moving toward the closed end of the field. For Huskies defensively, Ronnie Holmes, Browning, and Matson across the line. The linebackers Hill, Miember, Kelly, and Small. 2nd and 8 for the Wolverines. 10-12 to go in the first quarter. No score. Washington and Michigan. Rogers the only setback. Armstrong in motion. Smith to throw. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and a fine defensive play by Washington. And the Huskies, J.C. Pearson knocks it away from Gilbunny Johnson on the play, down at the 5-yard line.
Again, 2nd and 8, their little play action pass. Pretty good pressure by Hill. The throw was there, but the receiver couldn't hang on to it, and Pearson was in excellent shape. Excellent shape, made a good play.
Huskies left corner, he's the junior college transfer from El Camino, Fullerton, J.C. Making his 2nd start at Washington. Now it brings up a 3rd and 8 at the 23. Smith to throw again. Plenty of time. They know he's not going to run with it. Completes it to the 20, to the 19. Still on his feet is Steve Johnson making Armstrong. He's inside the 20, down to the 19.
That was a good job by the Huskies in that the Michigan needed 8 yards for the first down. They just dropped back in a zone defense. They're going to let them catch the short one, come up and make the tackle before they get the required yardage for a first down. That's exactly what they did.
So Schlopy with the ball short of the first down marker. Brings up 4th and 3 at the 18. Schlopy in to attempt a field goal. Harbaugh will hold number 4. Schlopy missed an extra point last week. The ball is down. Kick is up. It's good. Just hooks inside the left goalpost, and Michigan on the scoreboard first. And the Wolverines lead it by a score of 3-0. If you 35-yard field goal to put Michigan on the scoreboard. The Wolverines lead, as you see, by a score of 3-0. Huskies turned it over on a fumble by Walt Hunt near midfield, and Michigan took the ball down. Huskies defensively stopped them at the 18, but Schlopy comes on, kicks the 35-yard field goal. You see 25 yards in 6 plays, 2:37 on the clock. 9:16 to go here in the first quarter. Slopey set to kick it off back deep for Washington. Danny Green and Sterling Hines. Great crowd on hand, but they're quiet right now because they'd love to see their football team that shut out Northwestern last week get some offense going. Huskies had it moving until they gave it away. Slopey set to kick it away. Not the longest kick in the world. Green will take it 5 yards deep in the end zone, however, and he will down it there. Washington will put it play 1st and 10 at their own 20.
The Huskies had a good drive going, Bruce, that first series. They made a couple of real critical third down plays and then fumbled the ball away. And in a game like this,
some kind of football game, isn't it?
Dr. Bramwell, what's happening in there, particularly with Tim Meamber?
Tim stretched a ligament. It's not surgical, but we won't let him play again. It looks like a 1 to 3 week injury. The rest, we have some bumps and bruises, but everybody's go for the second half.
Mallory's ankle okay?
Mallory's going to go on. He's doing well on it.
Okay, we're about to start that second half. Bruce, let's toss it back up to you.
So Tim Meamber out from 1 to 3 weeks, and that has to hurt the Huskies inside because Kelly and Krakowski will be the inside linebackers. Score out of Pullman. Arizona 17, Washington State 6. 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
You know, Bruce, we were talking about where the Huskies were ranked 16th. If they win today, they're liable to move up into that top 10. I'm sure they probably would.
I would think so, too.
Yeah.
Washington to kick it off. Jagger to kick it. Johnson and Johnson. Gilvani, number 26. Steve Johnson, number 24. Comes the kick. High driving kick about a yard deep in the end zone. Gilvani Johnson going to run it, looking for some daylight. Gets to the 10, breaks the tackle, still on his feet to the 25 and out of bounds at the 27 on a big hit.
Big hit.
Tony Alvarado made a great hit down on the sideline too. He was a part of it.
Yeah, Vestry Jackson got the key tackle there. You know, he didn't put that one as deep into the end zone as he normally does, Bruce, but his hang time was excellent. It was so high, it gives the coverage people a lot of time to get down there, and those are tough to get out of there in good field position. However, it was a good return by Michigan.
Michigan takes over. 1st and 10 now. They have the ball just short of the 28. We'll call it the 28. Third quarter just underway. I formation for the Wolverines. Interesting to see what they do. They indeed make some changes. Fullback, run on left side. Really good blocking, but he picks up only a couple of yards on the play. Takes the ball out to the 32. Greg Armstrong, the fullback, the senior from Middleton, Ohio, only a couple of yards on the play. And it will be second. And I'm going to say his knee touched the ground over the 32. It'll be 2nd and 6. Give him 4.
Again, Michigan would like to be able to give to the ball to the fullback between tackles and establish some kind of a running game with him, which sets up their outside option game. And so far, they have not been able to do that.
Hammerstein comes in to replace Clay Miller, their 2-year letterman, at the right tackle position. Strength to the left side. Whistle blows. Going to be delay a game against Michigan. It's going to cost them 5 yards. Now, they've had some mix-up today and trying to get things going. So Michigan will be pushed now back to the 26. And it'll be 2nd and 11 from the 26.
You know, an interesting matchup to watch is that Stephon Humphreys, the All-American guard for Michigan, going against Joe Krakowski from the Huskies, playing that left inside linebacker position. They're battling each other most of the time, and it's been a pretty good battle so far.
2nd and 11 for Michigan now. The ball at the 26, make it the 27. Back to throw Smith. Wide open across the 40 to the 44 was Johnson. Gilvani Johnson, make it Vince Bean, as you see right here.
Well, this was a play-action pass, and you know, it's a pretty good call. I think the Huskies were in some kind of a zone there, and again, neither team has been able to exert a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and when you've got a lot of time to throw, you're going to find somebody open eventually.
So the Wolverines pick up the first down here in the second half. They put together a 65-yard drive. They got stopped at the 5 late in the first half. Huskies up in a 3-man front. Slipping to the outside is Smith. He'll run out of bounds in Washington territory at the Husky 46. And he'll be very, very close to the first down.
That was an option play. They had the fullback handled. They had the pitch man handled, but they didn't have the quarterback handled. And that's the second part of the triple option that Michigan runs out of their I formation. And somebody who was responsible for tackling the quarterback was either blocked or out of position.
So the Wolverines come right out and pick up a couple of quick first downs. Total offense the first half, Michigan 213, Washington 189. Well, that's added up right to now.
Yeah.
In the second half, we're now 13-20 to play here in the third quarter. 1st and 10, ball at the 46. Rogers hit hard as he gets to the 44.
Joe Krakowski.
Krakowski making the stop, number 56, as you see. He's the junior from Fremont, California.
This is just the off-tackle play to the tailback out of the I formation. Krakowski from his inside linebacker position. He probably beat the block by Humphreys, pursued inside out, made a great play at the line of scrimmage. That's exactly how he ought to play it. Heck of a play.
His father played for Oakland and Washington in the NFL a few years ago, 2-year letterman.
The what? That other league?
That other league. Remember that league? One setback. Pitch back to Rogers again. Runs short side of the field. Driven out of bounds as he goes to about the 42.
Fred Small made a good play on that one, Bruce. He was just being blocked man for man by the tight end, and he beat him and made the play. Just the way he's supposed to do it.
So now it will bring up 3rd and 6 at the Washington 42. 2 first downs for Michigan here in the second half. Washington leads it by a score of 10-3. Again, one setback. That's the fullback in motion to the left side. Smith, time, going to run again, throws over the middle, almost intercepted and almost caught. It was finally caught one-handed at the 30-yard line. Caught by Bean. You get a chance to see this one again. And
this was almost intercepted. It probably should have been intercepted. They were in a man coverage. Nobody open. Good coverage right away. And Pearson had his hands on it, and it bounced the wrong way. Good play by number 25, Bean.
Fred Small is down at midfield, and they're working on his leg.
That could be critical.
And that could be critical because the Huskies have lost Tim Meamber already with a strain. And we will be back and find out what happened to him right after this.
Every 10 seconds during the past year, someone, somewhere, for some mysterious reason, switched to Burger King. Switch. Who knows why? But it's added up to millions of switchers. Maybe even
you.
Introducing the amazing Renault Encore. Look how it feels to mold to the road with 4 wheels suspended independently. Feel it flow through hairpin curves. Look how the new Encore feels as it almost ignores gas pumps and provides front-wheel drive for extraordinary cornering. For an amazing 5755, the new Renault Encore. Amazing. The one to watch. Renault.
Washington Renault Jeep dealers. The ones to watch.
Fred Small is helped to the sideline, and they're working on his knee on the sideline. You see over there, Jim Mora comes in to replace him. And we have to tell you that obviously the son, our color man, Jim Mora, number 96, is in the ball game right now. 1st and 10 for Michigan. They have the ball at the Washington 30. 3rd, first down of this drive. Play action. Rogers, left side, bounces off the tackle and takes the ball down to the 26. Picks up 4 yards on the play. Make it 2nd and 6 for Michigan there. 11:56 to play here in the third quarter. Washington leading 10-3. Huskies' only touchdown coming on a 19-yard pass from Pelur to Strensky. Michigan trying to get something going now. Side bench, there's Fred Small, that right knee. It's wrapped with ice on it. I formation, 2nd and 6. Huskies slide down, 3-man front. Option, Smith keeps. Hit hard at the 20. Oh, he's hit hard at the 20. He goes down, and you wonder how that back feels and the shoulder feels right now as he gets up slow. Here it is again.
Well, they're running the option a little bit more this half than they were earlier, and the left side of the Michigan line did a good job of blocking right there. And again, whoever had the quarterback on that option, as far as the responsibility is concerned, wasn't quite where he ought to be. They seem to be doing something with the option to be taking advantage of the Husky defense.
Smith, 4 rushes for 33 yards now. 3rd and 1. All right at the 20-yard line. Fullback straight ahead, gets the first down, rolls down to the 18. That was Greg Armstrong in for Dan Rice at fullback. Greg's having some problems right there, as you see. He's going to have to come to the sideline. So it's going to pick up the first down for Michigan. So the ball now moves down to the Washington 17 is where they mark it down, halfway between the 18-17. Don James, yes, I would be concerned right now because Michigan is on the move. The Wolverines taking the kickoff to start the second half, and they are driving. 1st and 10 at the Washington 17. Hash mark left side. Smith to throw. The screen out to the outside. Got a block. Still on his feet. Down inside the 10 to the 9, and that's Rogers, his tailback. And he picks up 9 yards on the play.
Yeah, this is just most people call it a read screen. They're looking for the tight end or the split guy going down running a curl route, and if both those guys are covered, what the third option is basically the back who's flared out to the side, and it's a pretty good play. It's a widely used play throughout college and professional football. Again, you're trying to get one-on-one with the back on a linebacker.
9:50 to play, 3rd quarter. Michigan has it. 2nd and 1 at the 9. Fullback. Hit as he goes to the 7-yard line. May have been able to drive ahead to the 6 and near the 5 is Rick Rogers.
That was a good effort by the back. Well, the Huskies need to come up with another goal line stand here.
Well, here we go again. Now they have it 1st down goal to go at the 5. Husky fans concerned across the way. Their team leading by a score of 10-3. Rogers, 14 carries for 52 yards so far in the ball game.
Got to make something happen here. Got to come up with a turnover.
Kelly, Hill, Mora, the linebackers right now. Smith on a keeper, slips and falls at the 5. It was covered pretty well. Jimmy Mora was out there and covered it well, and Smith tried to cut inside, and it really wasn't anything there as his feet go right out from under him.
Again, they're trying to run the option a little bit more than they were the first half. And here again, they had all the responsibilities covered. There's a guy in the quarterback. Good job.
You see Krakowski in there to fill in the hole. Mora took the outside man. So it is 2nd and goal at the 5. Rogers and Rice, the running backs for Michigan. Rogers, a hole, big hole. Just waltzes into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. 8:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. Michigan scores.
Normally on a play like this, what happens? It's an off-tackle play, but out of the I formation, and this is one of the advantages of the I, where that guy takes the ball deep. He has a lot of time to read what's happening along the front, and normally the cutback area is what's open, and this is what happened here. Obviously, what happened was the backside or the left end, left outside linebacker, their pursuit was cut off, and that left a big hole.
Todd Schlope in to attempt the extra point to try to tie the ball game. The barefoot kicker just drills it through the uprights. So with 8:40 to play here in the 3rd quarter, the score, Washington 10 and Michigan 10.
That was...
If you want table service with your pizza, you pay for both. But you pay for pizza at Godfather's Pizza.
It's a bigger bang for your buck.
All the fancy stuff goes on the pie. Like this large Godfather's Pizza combo. 7 ingredients. Tips the scales at nearly 5 pounds.
It's a bigger bang for your buck.
Told you.
Godfather's Pizza.
Coming soon to Centralia, 38th and Steel in Tacoma, and Lacey.
Western Airlines has taken a very good schedule and torn it apart to make it our very best schedule for business. We're building it around arrivals, not just departures, because when you get there is just as important as when you leave. Call your travel agent or Western. Our new business schedule will make a difference wherever you fly.
Moving ahead so life won't pass you by.
Western Airlines, we've got a name to live up to.
Michigan takes the opening kickoff here in the second half. They move it 72 yards in 14 plays. 6:12 passes on the clock, and they tie it 10-10 on a 5-yard run. There you see it here. A 5-yard run by Rogers, the tailback. So 8:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. Washington 10, Michigan 10. Floppy is set to kick it off for Michigan. Back deep for Washington, standing on the goal line. Near side, Cookie Jackson. And on the far side, Danny Green. It'll be interesting now, Jim, to see exactly what Washington can do to start the second half. Huskies linebackers are injured. Fred Small on the sideline. Tim Meamber out of the ball game.
It's important that the Husky offense come back and move the ball like they did in the first half.
Low driving kick. Green fumbles the ball on the goal line. Finally picks it up. Ooh. Spins away. Flags fly. Gets the ball.
Might have a face mask.
At the 13 and may have a face mask.
Danny Green.
Now he's going to fumble the football here.
Picks it up. Makes a pretty good play right here. They good job there. I think I didn't see the face mask, but I guess we got it. Yep.
So the penalty against the Wolverines, a break for Washington now, as the Huskies will have a little more room to move the ball.
That helps.
And he'll tell us exactly what it is.
Grasping the face mask against the defense, 5 yards, 1st and 10.
Burl Sorgan, the referee, 5-yard penalty is all. And it will be now 1st and 10 for Washington. The ball on their own, 19 penalties. Michigan 6 for 45. Washington 1 for 5 yards. Only one penalty in the ball game for Washington so far. Hunt and Sterling Hines are the running backs of Washington. Pallure to throw. To the outside, complete to Patterson, breaks one tackle, tries to get away, still on his feet, and out of bounds after picking up the first down out at the 33. Mike Mowry was the man who finally ran him out of bounds.
I think this is really good that they come out right after getting scored on. They come out 1st and 10 on their own, down deep in their territory, and come out throwing the ball. And good throw from Steve to Mark, and then Mark makes a great play here for some extra yardage.
Gets the ball out to the 33. 1st and 10 for Washington there.
I didn't know Mark was that elusive.
Patterson, 3 catches for 43 yards in the game so far. Michigan 10, Washington 10. Huskies have the ball for the first time in the second half. Walt Hunt over the right side, picks up a couple of yards on the play, takes it across the 35 to the 36. 3rd and make it 2nd and 7 as he give him 3 on the play. Now at the Husky sideline, that's Mora, number 96, standing there.
Is that Coach Hall talking to him there?
Coach Hall.
Tell him how to defend that option game.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
Right. They want to talk that over. Hunt in motion to the left side. 2nd and 7. Quick pass over the middle is complete to the tight end. And that was to Larry Michael.
Steve did a good job there of reading the blitz, Bruce, and hitting the hot receiver. Here, we'll see it right here. He sees the blitz coming right there. He's got his option. He's going to go right to the tight end. Great job.
Good catch by Michael.
Yep. Good read by Steve Pallure.
Just short of the first down. The ball at the 43. 3rd and a yard. Just a short yard. The ball at the 43.
We got to make this one.
Straight ahead to Hunt. He gets the ball to the 45 and gets the first down. Walt Hunt behind some pretty good blocking on the left side, just powers his way to the 45. First down for Washington there. Huskies needed a first down. Want to give up the football right now. 10-10.
If they can go down and get something here, at least get some good field position, I think it's going to help the defense. Keep them off the field a little bit, let them recover.
Steve Pallure, number 16, running the attack. The senior from Interlake High School in Bellevue. He's been very impressive so far. Pallure to throw. More pressure. Looks again. Throws over the middle. It's going to be intercepted. And that may be 6 points. Slips and falls, and that's Mike Mowry, the inside linebacker. Flag goes down as he runs the ball back to the 40, make it to 35.
Now they're starting to put some pressure on Steve. I think they realized they needed to do more of this, and they had a blitz coming, number 49. Steve probably made a bad throw there. Scrambling for his life. It's tough to see where all the defenders are, and Mallory made a good play.
Trying to get to the tight end.
Yep.
So Michigan will take over the football, and they have it, but they're going to be hit with a penalty here. And it's going to, personal foul penalty is going to take the ball all the way back to midfield.
That helps the Huskies a little bit.
On the return, flipping against the offense. First down.
So Michigan has the football now. 1st and 10 right at midfield with the score tied 10-10. They took the opening kickoff of the second half and they drove it 73 yards, went down and scored. 15-yard return for Michigan on the interception by Mowry and a 15-yard penalty. Smith still at quarterback. He's gone all the way. Fullback. Eddie Garrett in the ball game for the first time. Picks up a couple of yards in the play and takes it to the 48. Kerry Smith also in for the second time, as Bo Schembechler now is making some changes in his running backs. Those Rogers and Rice and Armstrong didn't do the job for him before. He's going to Smith and Garrett in there. 2nd and 8. The ball at the 48. Huskies with some linebackers missing right now in Miember and Fred Small, trying to fill in the holes. Fullback Garrett to the 43. Short of the first down by a couple of yards.
That's that I formation. Again, the guy gets the ball so deep, you know. What's this, the human wave we got going here, Bruce?
As Husky fans begin to come alive. Last time this happened, I think Michigan said, we can't hear. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to hear right now.
Big down here. 3rd and 2.
3rd and 3 at the 43. I formation. And Michigan turns and said, wait a minute. We can't hear. The officials take a timeout. An official timeout, and we'll see what in the world's going on. Would they do that because of the noise?
Yeah. Yep.
Michigan will make a change. Johnson was in the ball game. He comes out. Bean comes back in for him. And I'm not sure what in the world you do about that.
Well, I'm not either. There's not much you can do about it. You know, you can appeal to the crowd, but
well, the score tied 10-10 and Michigan 3rd and 3 on the 43.
But I'm sure Bo has instructed his quarterback that if you can't hear, just turn around and tell the official.
The crowd is alive.
Hey,
he turns and I can't hear. The official says timeout again, and we'll talk about it. Now the Husky players are saying, okay, wait a minute, that's fine. You know, you've done your thing. Now let's quiet it down so we can get this 3rd down play and maybe Washington get the ball back. Dean Browning.
I'm not sure of the
I see what it is now. Every time that the official now blows the ball dead because of the crowd, Washington will be charged with an official timeout. They only get 3 each half. They could run out of timeouts here in a hurry. Husky players saying quiet down. 3rd and 3. Big play at the 43. The Washington 43. 10-10 tie. Michigan with the football. High formation. Smith pitch to the outside. Plenty of running room. Going to be hit as he gets the first down, but gets across the 40 and down to inside the 35 and knocked out of bounds.
We got a penalty flag back here, too. I hope it's not a late hit. Here again, on a critical situation, Michigan is going to the option. It was a quick pitch. There wasn't much of an option to it. Albritton played off the blocker. He's got the pitch, the option, the pitch man right there. He just had gotten knocked off his feet a little bit and wasn't quite able to make the play.
Penalty flag is down. It's going to be first down for Michigan. The ball will be marked at the 35-yard line, and we'll see what the penalty is going to be. 5:25 to play here in the 3rd quarter. And we'll see what in the world the referee has to say. He's calling it a first down.
Clipping.
Clipping against Michigan after the first down.
Clipping against Michigan.
That's one of those plays that you say, you sure it didn't occur before he picked up the first down?
That's an interesting play. You don't see that very often.
Michigan, 8 penalties now for 75 yards in the ballgame. Washington 1 for 5.
Dead ball. Clipping against the offense. First down and 25.
You heard 1st and 25. The ball back at midfield.
This is where the drive started, wasn't it? First
yes, it
down
was.
to 50.
They picked off the pass, had the penalty back at the 50. So here we go again. It's like those other plays didn't occur. Huskies up in a 4-man front now. High formation. Big hole. The right side. Smith pulls his way down to the 36. Short of the first down by about 11 yards.
This is kind of a sprint draw type action, and I don't know, Bruce. That left side of the Husky defense either got caught out of position or got blocked, but it's a good call on first and long. Kind of a draw type action, and probably the Huskies were in some type of a defense defending the pass, and they caught him.
Rogers in for Kerry Smith now at tailback for Michigan. 4:34 to play here in the third quarter. 2nd and 11, the ball at the 36. Smith to throw. Complete and out of bounds at the 16. Good enough for the first down. Going to Vince Bean. Smith has been right on target.
Okay, play action pass. I don't think Bean was the primary. Caught him on an out route right over the outside linebacker's hands. Good throw and a good catch.
Jim Moore, the senior from Interlake.
Wasn't quite tall enough on that one.
6'1", 201. Almost got a finger on it. 1st and 10 for Michigan now. The Washington 16. Rogers and Garrett, the running back. Rogers gets to the 15, down to the 14. Huskies converging him. You see Matson's on there. Jim Moore also in on the play. Browning, Leapart, they're all there.
I'm going to blame his mother on that pass for Bruce. She's too short.
She's too short.
If I'd have married a taller girl, and he'd have been taller and probably knocked that one down or intercepted it.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Jim Moore, number 96, is the son of our color commentator and the head coach of the Philadelphia Stars, the USFL, Jim Moore. Smith, 15 of 18, 176 yards, 9 of his last 10. 2nd and 8, the 14. Smith on a keeper. He's going to run to the 10, inside the 10, and gets it down to the 7. So Smith, who is so dangerous running the football, is just red hot throwing the ball right now against that Husky defensive secondary. Michigan switching some people in their line right now. Huskies also making some changes.
I can see why not having Smith last week hurt this team a little bit against Washington State, although they won the game. This guy is really a good-looking athlete. He runs the ball. He's got a good arm. He's the key to their offense.
3rd and 2. The ball at the 8 for Michigan. 10-10 tie. 2:47 to play in the third quarter. Tailback, right side, has the first down. Hit inside the 5 and goes to the 4. Driven back at the 4-yard line. Mora in on the play, along with Leapart. But good enough for the first down.
Just the off-tackle play with the fullback kicking out on the outside backer. A little soft on that side. They picked it up. Recovered pretty well, but they were just soft initially.
DiOrio and Miller blocking on the right side for Michigan. Big number 76, you saw that just a moment ago. Stephon Humphreys, preseason All-American. Dixon, preseason All-American, is their center. Big people in the middle of that line. First down, goal to go. The ball at the 4, the Washington 4. Michigan trying to score the second touchdown of the second half. Fullback straight ahead. He gets only a yard on the play. That's Eddie Garrett, the sophomore from Milwaukee.
They're going to come back with the option here, Bruce, I think, in this next play.
Takes the ball down inside the 4 to near the 3 is where they'll finally mark it. Washington 10, Michigan 10. The Huskies have not been able to stop the Wolverines here in the second half. Michigan came out, took the second half kickoff, drove it down for a touchdown. They get the ball back on an interception here and have an opportunity to score. And they're eating up most of the clock here in the third quarter. 2 minutes exactly remain. 2nd and 3. The ball at the 3. High formation. Big hole. Left side. Did he get in the end zone? No, just short of the goal line by a yard. That was Rogers. Working behind Humphreys and Dixon. And James on that side. Doug James, the tackle on the left side. You see Rogers. He's 6'2", 216. He's going to bring up 3rd and goal to go at the 1. Dan Rice, the fullback, comes back in the ball game, and Eddie Garrett goes out. Huskies try to dig in. Big play. High formation. 2 tight ends in the game. Smith keeps option. Gets into the end zone as he rolls it down the right side to score, to put Michigan on top by a score of 16-10. Smith running to the outside, and you'll see it again.
Again, this is the option play, and as I mentioned before, this is probably the toughest play to stop in a goal line defense. And you've got to defend the inside or the fullback play first, and you just run out of people when they get outside on you. And this is what happened, and they got the touchdown.
Slopey in to attempt the extra point. Michigan 16, Washington 10. 1:08 to play here in the third quarter. Michigan absolutely dominating the third quarter of play. Kicks up, almost blocked, but it was good. So Michigan leading Washington by a score of 17-10 with 1:08 to play here in the third quarter, and we'll be right back.
Price, mileage, quality. Price, mileage, quality. Price, mileage, quality. Honda. Honda. What other cars are trying to be. See your Puget Sound Honda dealer today.
Do you know how many of these motor oils would love to make this claim? Well, this one can. Mobil 1, the official oil of the '84 Winter Olympics.
Steve Smith scores for Michigan on a 1-yard run, rolling it to the outside to put the Wolverines on top of the Huskies by a score of 17-10. Now, time of possession. There you see, 50 yards, 11 plays, 5:32 is the time that elapsed. Time of possession in the third quarter, unofficially. Michigan, 11:44. Washington, 1:51. Michigan dominating play, blocking just a little bit better and playing just a little bit better. But the Huskies, with Fred Small and Tim Meamber on the sideline with injuries, having some problems with the linebackers, and right now they're having problems trying to stop Michigan. Wolverines to kick it off. Driving kick. It will be taken by Cookie Jackson at the 10. Hit at the 15 and falls up, as you see, up to the 18. So the Huskies will put it in play 1st and 10 at the 18.
You know, you take a Meamber out of the game. He's 6'3½", 228. Replace him with a Kelly, 6'1½", 210. You take a Small out of the game, 6'1", 222, and replace him with Morris, 6'1", 201. You lose a little heft in there, Bruce, and I think this is the difference.
Michigan taking advantage of it now. So the Husky offense, they're going to have to carry the load right now. 1st and 10. The ball at the 18. Pallure had a pass picked off a minute ago to the outside to Jock Robinson in the game again, and picks up only a yard. Hassel on the outside linebacker position making the stop. All the starters are in defense right now for Michigan, and across the line, as you see, DeFelici and Sinsich, Brooks, Hassel, Bourne, Mowry, and Lyles. Husky fans concerned. Lott, Hewitt, Cooper, and Cochran in the ball game for Michigan. Straight ahead, nothing there on a 2nd and 8 play as he gets to the 20, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. So it brings up a 3rd down, 3rd and 8. Breno DeFeo was carrying the football for Washington. So the Husky offensive line's going to have to dig in and blow some holes out of that Michigan defense. Pallure looking to the sideline now. 3rd and 8. The ball at the Washington 20. Michigan up now in a 4-man front. Whistle blows. And that's the end of the third quarter as the clock ticks away to 0-0. So as time ends, the end of the third quarter, the score, Michigan 17, Washington 10.
Solid oak. Sturdy cause it's northern Appalachian. Solid oak. Clear as the Minnesota morning. Solid oak. Great old American tradition. Solid oak. Solid oak. That's why we're picking up the right tree. Solid oak. And
mighty northern oak forests comes the long-lasting beauty of natural red oak. And here at the Solid Oak Factory, we've made it a tradition to create rich, handcrafted furniture at down-to-earth prices you can afford. Beautiful, hand-rubbed solid oak furniture for every room in your home.
Solid Oak, a great old American tradition. Solid Oak, that's why we're picking out the right trees. Solid Oak, and made right at our factory. Solid Oak.
Beautiful, affordable, factory direct furniture from tree to you.
Solid Oak.
Michigan 17, Washington 10 as we start the fourth quarter, the final 15 minutes of action. Give you an indication of what in the world happened in that third quarter. The Huskies only 21 total yards, Michigan 145 total yards and 2 touchdowns. The Huskies for the game so far, 210 yards, Michigan 326. The Huskies now 3rd and 8 at the 20. Pelor to throw. Going to be hit from behind. The ball's loose. Ball bouncing down to the 2, to the 1. It will go in the end zone, and I think Michigan has it for a touchdown. Pelor back to pass, was hit from behind. The ball bounced loose, and the Huskies, instead of being able to get the ball and fall on it for a safety, saw Michigan grab the ball and recover it in the end zone and score the touchdown. So just like that, Michigan 23, Washington 10. Mike Mowry was the man who recovered the ball. Junior from Del Cobb, Illinois.
It looked like Dotson was trying to fall on it in the end zone, which would have been a safety for Michigan, but the ball bounced out of there, and the Michigan guy got it for the touchdown. Oh, when it rains, it pours, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Well, Don James, yes, I would be concerned right now with what's happened here in the second half. Slopey, number 99, in to attempt the extra point, and just like that, 23-10 on the first play of the fourth quarter. Slopey can make it 24. Kicks up, looks good, and is just like that. 14:51 to play in the football game. Michigan 24, Washington 10, and we'll be right back.
Okay, we're back doing the Puyallup at the Pacific West Sport and Racket Club with the 21 days free Puyallup Fair special. Wow, look what they're adding. Another indoor tennis court, new Nautilus equipment and heavy weights, a complete gymnasium. And there's still our favorite, the cement pond. They're expanding the Puyallup Club. Get 21 days free for the whole family at all Pacific West locations. Tacoma, Puyallup, Federal Way, Kenton, Kirkland. Better get quacking.
U.S. Grade A large eggs. We crack them fresh, we cook them fresh. Start your morning with the best. McDonald's and you.
When Ray Ramsey hears it's going to be sunny, he double checks just to make sure.
Satellite says no rain. No precip on the radar.
But just before his forecast, he makes one final check.
Aha!
Ray Ramsey weather at 5, 6:30, and 11.
If you remember last week, Washington didn't turn the ball over at all. Played a perfect ball game as far as turnovers were concerned. Well, here 3 Washington turnovers have led to Michigan scores. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Hunt had a fumble early. Pelor an intercepted pass, and Pelor now a fumble recovered in the end zone for a touchdown by Mike Mowry.
I think
24-10 in favor of Michigan.
When Harry interviewed Bob Stoll, the offensive coordinator, on the sidelines before the game, Bruce, Bob's comment was that in a game like this, the team that makes the least number of mistakes will probably win. Well, there it is right there on your screen. Michigan, no turnovers. Washington, 3. And as you indicated, all 3 have led to Michigan points.
Well, as we mentioned, too, that Michigan was able to score 2 touchdowns on 2 drives, really, to start the second half. And kind of the fire went out of the Washington attack right then.
Sure did.
Slopey to kick it off. Huskies now really have the work cut out for them. Low driving kick. It will be picked up at the 25. Whistle blows. And Finney had the football, but his knee was down when he picked it up. And Rick Finney will stay in at fullback for Washington. The attendance, 60,638, the 5th largest crowd ever at Husky Stadium. Well, they saw a great first half. Washington leading by a score of 10-3. But the football game has belonged to Bo Schembechler's Michigan Wolverines here in the second half. They lead it 24-10 with 14:49 to go. Huskies to the line of scrimmage. And the running backs now, Jock Robinson and Rick Fenny. The freshman in motion. Hadn't carried the ball yet. Pallure over the middle to his tight end. It is complete to the 30, picks up 5 yards. 2nd and 5 for Washington there. That's Larry Michael making the catch, the senior from East Wenatchee, Eastmont High School. You know, his father was an all-conference center at Washington.
Is that right?
Yes, way back in 1950, I believe it was.
Do you remember him?
48-50. I think we were doing this then. 2nd and 5 for Washington. At their own 30. Split backs. Back to throw. To the outside. It is complete to Danny Green. Good enough for the first down. Out of bounds at the 45. Cochran covering on the play for Michigan.
This was really a good throw by Steve. Off the bootleg action. Had to throw it over the underneath defender to Danny before he got out of bounds. Excellent throw.
First down for Washington. Yeah, they're going to say he went out of bounds at the 44. 1st and 10 for Washington at their own 44. Wide receivers put out wide to the right. And off to Jock Robinson. Pallure this half, 4 for 5 for 39 yards. One of them picked off.
He's still having a good day. Can't blame him for that fumble down there in the end zone.
Jock picks up about 4 on the play. Make it 2nd and 6 now for Washington at their own 47.
2nd and 7 on the 47.
Robinson goes to the sideline. Walt Hunt comes back in for Washington, and the up back now is Cookie Jackson. Pallure, midfield, run out of bounds in Michigan territory at the Michigan 49, and depends on where they mark it. Should be good enough for the first down.
Oh, they talk about Smith being a good runner. Steve's a good runner too. Pallure's a good runner too. Harry takes advantage of, he was a real good high school athlete. Good basketball player, excellent basketball player, and he's not probably not quite as quick as Smith, but he can run the football.
We'll give you a score from Pullman in just a moment. Huskies have it 1st and 10 now at the 45. Cookie Jackson gets away from one man, but that's really about it. Gets the ball to the 45, picks up only a yard on the play. It's 2nd and 9 for Washington at the Michigan 45. Cookie Jackson, little guy back in school this year, in Franklin High School, 1 of 9 children. Got a brother that played at Louisville, in fact. Clock continues to run. 12:57 to play in the football game. Michigan 24, Washington 10. Huskies led it 10-3 at halftime. 2nd and 9. Sprint draw. Robinson tries to get back and get some daylight of his UC. Doesn't get very much. Gets the ball to the 44 and picks up only a yard on the play.
As you said, Bruce, this is a sprint draw to Jock. And actually, Hunt made a pretty good block there on the outside linebacker. Jock probably should have stayed inside. He tried to break it outside and nowhere to go.
3rd down, 3rd and 8 for Washington. The 43. Washington 8 of 11 on 3rd downs so far in the ball game.
Need a play here.
Pallure will throw. Great catch. Good for the first down to the 27-yard line to Danny Green. Brad Cochran covering on the play, but Danny Green, great concentration and a great catch.
Here's an end zone shot of it. Play action to Jacques. A lot of time, good throw, great catch by Danny Green. Pretty well defended, as you can see right there. Just a great catch by Danny Green.
Keeps the Husky drive alive. The ball now at the Michigan 27. Huskies need to get a score on the scoreboard right now. 11:54 to play in the game. Michigan 24, Washington 10. Walt Hunt, nothing on the right side. He is hit hard. He gets to the line of scrimmage. The whole left side of that defensive line. DeFelice, Sinchez in there, along with Hassel and Boren. So 2nd and 9 to give Hunt only 1. The ball at the 27. 11:25 to play. here in the football game. Michigan dominating play in the second half, leading now 24-10 after the Huskies won the first half 10-3. Allure throwing, complete to Hunt. Fights his way to the 22. Short of the first down by about 4 yards. Hewlett making the stop for Michigan from the strong safety position.
I'll tell you, the Michigan line is doing a little bit better job of rushing Steve this second half. And Steve felt a little pressure right there, had to scramble out of the pocket. Hunt makes a great second effort right there to pick up 3 or 4 extra yards.
Here we go, third down again, 3rd and 4. The ball at the 22. Huskies split backs. Jock Robinson back in the ballgame. Allure looks to the outside, throws, man's there for the first down. Great catch by Patterson on the outside. They'll mark the ball at the 14.
Here again, this is a great play by Steve Allure. 3rd down, he had to get the first down. Right on target. Good catch by Mark Patterson. That's the kind of performance you need out of your quarterback. In the clutch downs, you got to come through.
Allure has completed 5 consecutive passes for 47 yards since that interception. Senior from Interlake looks over that Michigan defense. 1st and 10 now. The ball at the 14. Allure to throw. Going to hit from behind, but he throws complete to Danny Green inside the 5. They'll mark it all the way down at the 3.
Here again, another mark of a good quarterback here, Bruce. I'm sure he feels the pressure coming in right there. But hangs in the pocket, just stays in there and waits for the guy to get open and throws a good pass for the first down. Good play by Steve. Not quite a first down, second short.
Second and about a yard. The ball at the 4. Hunt. He's going to get down now to the 3. They originally had the ball marked at the 3 and then moved it back to the 4. I think they changed the mind. He moves down to the 3. DeFelice making the stop. The senior from Trenton, Michigan. Walt Hunt looks to the sideline.
I'm really impressed with Steve Allure on this drive. He's come back from the interception, and I don't think he's thrown an incompletion, has he?
Yes. First down, goal to go for Washington at the 3. Joe Gray in for Kevin Brooks. Defensive tackle position for Michigan now. 9:11 to play in the game. Pitch to the outside. Hunt. Back over the left side to score. Hunt runs right through Boren and Mowry on the play to score. They get the Huskies right back in the ball game.
This is a toss sweep around the left side. Hunt sees an opening inside, hits it up in there. Good blocking by the left side. Mallory, Maurer, good blocking. Knocked him off the ball, and there was a crease in the defense, and he took it in.
Jaeger in to attempt the extra point. See the pass from center. It is dead perfect with 9:06 to play. Huskies right back in the ball game. Michigan 24, Washington 17. It isn't over.
No, sure isn't. Great.
At the age of 3, he was building skyscrapers.
It's a skyscraper, Daddy.
Yes, it is, son. And at 10, penthouses.
Kenny, it's dinner time.
By 18, he was working his way through college.
Kenny, 2 specials and number 6, hold the onions.
Before he knew it, he was out in the business world.
Thank you.
With a good idea that needed a little help.
John? Ken, you got the plans for the building? Great. Let's go tomorrow.
Rainier is one bank willing to grow with you.
We have a warehouse?
We made a commitment long ago to get involved with good ideas.
How about your pre-lease commitments?
Whether it's a personal line of credit
Just called your office. You got the loan.
or a loan to launch a business empire.
It's only 2 stories, Dad, but it's a beginning.
If you've got a goal,
Son, it looks like a skyscraper to me.
we'll help you get there.
The Huskies move 75 yards on 13 plays, as you see. Walt Hunt takes it over from the 3 as Washington gets right back in the football game. impressive drive. It is Michigan 24, Washington 17. We have 9:06 to play. Jaeger to kick it off.
You know, if Steve can keep throwing the ball like he did on that drive, they can eat that yardage up pretty quick.
Here's a kick. And he drills this one out of the end zone. Now you think this Husky Stadium crowd's not going to come alive. Washington pumped up. Third quarter. Didn't seem to be that enthusiasm, that feeling after Michigan was able to drive on a couple of times.
They'll get jacked up again now, Bruce.
You see that Washington crowd of over 60,000. Fifth largest crowd in the history of the University of Washington, 60,600. And the cheer now in the background. Defense.
Key series right here. If they can get them stopped here. Maybe come up with a turnover.
Michigan with Smith, Rogers, Armstrong in the ball game. High formation. Smith back to throw. Not going to keep it on the ground. Flips it to the outside to Rogers. He's at the 20, 25, 30, 35. Gets it up to almost the 40-yard line. Stopped at the 39. The ball was loose, recovered by Washington, but as you see, it had been ruled dead at the 39.
That's that little screen play to the halfback that they've thrown fairly effectively all afternoon. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Got a blocker out in front of the back. You got to get some pursuit.
Huskies playing with some major injuries to their linebackers. To Fred Small, to Tim Meander. They're on the sideline right now. Smith, option, pitch. And run out of bounds at the 43-yard line after picking up 3 yards. Make it the 44. They're going to say he didn't step out of bounds until the 44. It is 2nd and 6. And that was Smith. Kerry Smith. Smith, the quarterback, 16 and 19 so far thrown in the ball today, 195 yards. He has 40 yards rushing.
Pretty good day for a guy who's been hurt.
Certainly is. First start this year for Steve Smith. Michigan playing Wisconsin next week. Huskies need to come up with a defensive play now. They talk about breaks in the ball game. They need it now. Tailback. Pretty good hole over the left side and very, very close to the first down. Out near the 49. Kerry Smith, the senior from Grand Rapids, Michigan. 2:40 to left to play in Pullman. Now, we thought this might be a pretty close football game. Arizona 45. Washington State 6.
Arizona looks like they're better than everybody thought they were going to be.
Oh, they are for real. Question about that. Dan Rice in there. He comes out of the ball game.
The Huskies do need a play
comes
here.
Back in. Saw the Husky bench. They're concerned. 1st and 10 now for Michigan. The ball at their own 49. 8 minutes exactly to play. Hit behind the line of scrimmage is Armstrong. Good defensive play by the Washington Huskies then as Michigan loses a yard on the play.
Cutback play by the fullback. Excellent play by the left side.
Number 96, Jim Mora, senior from Interlake. Make it a fine defensive play. And you talk about pressure on a young man. He moves to a new position this year, and now he's playing against one of the best teams in the country in Michigan. 7:30 to play. Husky crowd alive. Michigan leading 24-17. It is 2nd and 11. The ball at the 49. Over the right side to Mercer. Brian Mercer, first time in a ball game, picks up about 3. Move the ball to the Washington 46.
This is a big play here. 3rd and 6.
It is now 3rd and a long 6.
Got to get them stopped.
Husky
right
crowd, a lot of them on their feet right now. Big defensive play. For the Huskies coming up. Steve Smith looking over the defense. What do you do now? One setback. 6:45 to go. Washington needs the football. Trail by 7. 3rd and 6. Smith to throw. Throws complete for the first down. Down to the 35 and takes the ball all the way down to the 32 for a Michigan first down to Milt Carthens, the tight end. First catch of the day for him.
Well, this is a tough situation to be in defensively because Michigan's been running the ball pretty effectively. And 3rd and 6, hey, they could still run the ball. Coach Lambright kept it pretty basic right there. They were in zone coverage. They hit the underneath guy and they picked up the first down.
6:23 to play.
That was a big play. Got to make something good happen here.
Huskies up with 5 defenders at the line. Tailback hit at the line of scrimmage, dives ahead to the 29. That's Rick Rogers. So Rogers picks up 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 for Michigan. Exactly 6 minutes to play. Michigan 24, Washington 17. Huskies led 10-3 at halftime.
2nd and 7 on the 20.
Giovanni Johnson comes in to replace Steve Johnson, wide receiver position right now. Rogers 19 carries, 68 yards so far in the ball game. High formation. Smith breaks the tackle, still on his feet, still going. You can see why he's one of the best runners around as a quarterback and gets the first down at the 20. Steve Smith, what a play. 9-yard pickup.
Here's the option again. A little bit of a breakdown. Missed tackle there, missed tackle there. And he's going to make a pretty good gain in a critical time for the Huskies.
Michigan has taken the kickoff after Washington scored to make it 24-17, and they have driven it down the field from their own 20. They now have it at the Washington 20. 5:16 to play. 1st and 10. Smith. Rogers to a pretty good hold. Takes it to the 15. Picks up 5. 2nd and 5 for Michigan. And I don't know what in the world you do now, because that big line of Dixon and Humphreys and James. DiOrio doing a good job against the Husky defense. And, you know, Browning, Matson, and Holmes, they've been out there for a long, long time in this football game.
You're going to have to do something a little bit drastic here, Bruce, a little bit different. You've got to get people upfield, penetrate, try to come up with a big play, try to throw them for a loss. You just can't let them pound you for 3, 4, 5 yards at a shot.
Running inside the tackles. Michigan now, 2nd and 5. The ball at the Washington 15. Rogers still on his feet. Hit from behind after picking up a yard.
Okay, the Huskies came with a strong safety blitz that time, trying to get some penetration, get somebody upfield, and it gave him a play.
And I'm going to say his knee hit the ground right at the 15. They won't give him a yard on that.
Another big 3rd down play coming up.
The drive, as we'd mentioned, began on the 20. It's taken 5 minutes already off the clock.
Well, this is the concern Don had at halftime, that he felt his defense had to do a little bit better job of getting them stopped immediately, not letting them take the ball and drive it down their throat.
3:57 to go in the football game. Michigan 24, Washington 17. Michigan 3rd and 5 at the 15. Smith to throw. Throws. Intercepted, but out of bounds. Intercepted out of bounds by Vesti Jackson. And he, if he could have stayed in bounds, might have had 6.
Smith's rolling out. Good throw. Good play by Vesti. Good coverage. Excellent coverage. Cut in front of the receiver. God, if he'd have caught it. God,
if
he'd have caught it the first time, you know, they bounced it around.
The ball bounced around a little bit. Oh, Slopey now in to attempt a field goal. The ball will be placed down to 22. 32-yard field goal. Slight angle to the left. Huskies really need to block this one. Ball is down. Kick is up. Looks good. No good.
Got a chance.
Oh, the kick looked good from here, but it's no good. Wide to the left. The Huskies hold. There is still life with 3:40 to play. You need a senior quarterback now to run a football team, and that's exactly what Washington has.
Exactly. They got a guy that's been through it, knows what he's doing, felt the pressure.
Second time Michigan has driven 65 yards with no score in the ball game. Slopey missing the 32-yard field goal. Michigan ran off 5:26 on the clock. Breno DeFeo in motion. Cookie Jackson, the other setback. So over the middle. Complete to Larry Michael at the 30. Just short of the first down. Again, very close.
This was a case of Pelluer reading the blitz. As soon as it happened, he read the blitz and hit what they call the hot receiver, the tight end, who was being covered one man-on-man by the safety, and it's an easy 8, 9, 10 yards.
Second and the nose of the football with 3:13 to play. The ball at the 30, the Washington 30, one setback. DeFeo will get the first down. Going to be hit as he gets to the 31. First down for Washington. They'll stop the clock as they move the chains on the far side. Bill Bissell, you see in the center, with his Husky band all cranked up here. You think they're excited? First and 10 for Washington at the 31. Michigan 24, Washington 17. Huskies with the football with 2:51 to go in the ball game. Pelluer will throw. Time. Go. Complete to Stransky for the first down at the 45. Dave Stransky making a great catch on a good pass. The Cedro Willie Sr.
Like you say, Bruce, you need a guy now at the quarterback spot that can hang in there. A lot of poise, a lot of cool. Look at him, looking over the coverages. Good throw.
Steve Pelluer, 21 of 27 for 216 yards in the ball game. .228 to go. First and 10 for Washington. The ball at their own 45. Hunt in motion. Pelluer back to throw. Throws to his tight end, Michael. Very close to another first down at the Michigan 45. Clock continues to run. Just short of the first down with the nose of the ball. You're looking in the Washington huddle. Larry Michael. Big tight end, playing very, very well. You know, he hadn't caught a pass until this year.
Is that right?
Caught 4 last week against Northwestern. Cookie Jackson in motion, top of the screen. To the right side, just a dive by Breno DeFeo to pick up the first down. Making Walt Hunt in there at fullback now. Gets the first down for Washington. 1:43 to play in the football game. Huskies driving. They have the ball now at the Michigan 43.
And Mike Mallory on the tackle.
Michigan takes out a linebacker, and they put in another defensive back. Tony Gant comes in. 5 defenders now. 5 secondary people in. First and 10 for Washington at the Michigan 43. Pelluer to throw. Plenty of time. Going to be hit from behind and tackle back at the 45. 1:17 to play. Huskies are going to call timeout with 1:17 to play.
This is what you call a coverage sack, Bruce. This is actually the protection was pretty darn good. Steve had enough time to throw, but the coverage was so good there wasn't anybody open, so eventually he had to scramble and they got the sack on it.
And we'll be back for the final minute and 15 seconds right after this.
Each year, American companies lose millions of dollars in productivity because of their phone systems, when all they have to do is call GTE. Backed by 100 years of experience, we sell telecommunication systems that do everything from automatically redialing busy numbers to handling the most advanced data applications. Isn't it about time you gave us a call?
Have some rich, something fun at the Puyallup Fair. There are so many new things to do there. You can gobble up a scone, just a dripping jam. You can win yourself a prize, even cuddle a lamb. You can look at the cows and the pigs and the chickens, ride the roller coaster and scream. For a heck of a time, come rain or shine. Have some rich, something fun at the fair. Rich, something fun at the Puyallup Fair.
You talk about excitement. We have 1:15 to play in the football game. Michigan leads Washington 24-17. Huskies have it. 2nd and 12 at the Michigan 44. Pelluer 22 of 28 for 225 yards in the game so far. Green with 5 catches. Michael with 5. Big play. Pelluer to throw to the outside. Complete to his tight end. He's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 40. And that's going to be about 5.5, 6 yards short of the first down. So it's going to bring up 3rd down. So what do you do now? That's the 6th catch of the ball game for Larry Michael. 3rd.
Well, you already got 2 downs to make the first, but you'd like to do it on this one.
3rd down, long 7, just about 8. Split backs. 1:09 to play. Huskies need a first down. Pelluer throws.
Great.
Complete to Stransky for the first down at the 28. Dave Stransky on a perfect pass from Steve Pallor.
Good job by the offensive line, giving Steve a lot of protection, a lot of poise, a lot of cool on his part.
Pallor, 11 consecutive completions now. Stransky to the sideline, as you see. Could be the wrist. Ooh, would that hurt? Here they come. Pallor throws it to the outside and out of bounds. To Hines to stop the clock with 52 seconds to go. He picks up 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7, the ball at the Michigan 25. 12 consecutive passes now completed for Pallor. 25 of 31, 246 yards. 52 seconds to play as you see on the clock. Michigan 24, Washington 17. This is what college football is all about.
Hey, this is fantastic. I think if they give him some time, he'll get it in there for him.
They made us run out of time. 2 wide receivers split out wide to the right. Patterson and Green. Pallor. The throw. Time. Ooh. Complete to Danny Green. Inside the 10 to the 7 and a Washington first down.
When I mentioned time, Bruce, I'm giving him time to throw here, which they're doing. Look at that throw. Right on the button.
Hit a beauty. 46 seconds to play.
That's a good job there of Danny of hanging on to that thing because he got hit pretty hard.
First down, goal to go for Washington at the Michigan 7. They trail by 7. Pallor looks, lobs it to the corner of the end zone.
Oh!
Patterson touchdown.
Great throw. Woo! Bruce, this was a super executed play. Believe me, Steve Pallor looked just fantastic on this one. Look at that. Well defended. What happened? What are they booing here? Oh, they're going for...
Steve Pallor has completed 14 consecutive passes. He lobs the ball in from the 4, or from the 7, I should say, to Patterson for the touchdown on a perfect throw, as you saw. Now, the Huskies will go for the win with 34 seconds to go. Michigan 24, Washington 23. That's Ray Dorr on the right. He's the quarterback coach at Washington. Don James talking with Steve Pallor. We said at the beginning of this drive, you need a senior quarterback. You need someone with poise. And that's exactly what he did.
That's exactly what he did.
Pallor, 27 of 33 for 271 yards.
You can't ask for a better performance. It's a great day by Steve against a
Huskies move 80 yards in 11 plays in 3:06 to score. 34 seconds left on the clock. Michigan 24, Washington 23. Washington winning the first half as you look at Bo Schembechler on the sideline, and he said, what in the world happened to my defense? I had a 24-10 lead. I probably wanted to play somebody else other than Steve Smith. But the Huskies came back to score. Here they come.
They're going for it.
They will go for it. They'll go for 2. The ball will be placed down at the 3. Number 9, that is Stransky. He's back in the ball game. As you see, Husky fans just going wild. 60,600 here to watch this game. We thought it would be a great one, and it is. What'll be the call? Jimmy, what do you think?
Well, I think they got to put it in the air. No question about that.
I formation. Jock Robinson, the up back in the I. One chance to win it right now. Pallor, back to throw. Goes to the outside. Good, complete to Larry Michael. The Huskies lead it, 25-24.
Who caught that? I can't, Michaels, huh? The Michigan came with an all-out blitz and almost had, oh man, was that awesome? Was that a great throw and a great catch with a guy right in his face? Woo! Tremendous performance by Steve Pallor.
Steve Pallor just brilliant.
Tremendous.
Larry Michael making the catch on the 2-point conversion to put Washington ahead 25-24. We have 34 seconds to play. You look at the Husky crowd. Michigan has 3 timeouts left. Here it is again.
Watch the outside linebacker in the top of your screen right there, right in Steve's face.
Beautiful. Larry Michael making the catch. Michael, the 6'4", 225-pound senior from East Wenatchee. 3 timeouts left for Michigan. 34 seconds left on the clock. Steve Smith has been brilliant here in the second half for Michigan. You talk about a battle of the quarterbacks. We have seen it today. Washington down 24-10. Come back to lead 25-24. All they want to do, Michigan just wants to get the ball into a position to give Schlope a chance to kick a field goal. Here we go.
Well, we need a kick in the end zone here.
Young freshman Jaeger to kick it off. You see the time, bottom of the screen. High driving kick. It'll be taken right at the goal line by Steve Johnson. Johnson will hit back inside the 10 at the 7. Great defensive play by Washington.
I believe it was Al James again, wasn't it?
Oh, we'll see it again in just a moment.
Yeah, Al James.
It was James again, number 32, that made the play.
He made the great hit earlier on a kickoff, didn't he? Yeah.
29 seconds remaining. Michigan 3 timeouts left. Here it is again. Number 32 is the man to keep your eye on.
There he is, right there.
Just comes flying through to make the stop. So here we go. Wide receivers left and right. The ball back at the 7-yard line. The Michigan 7. Smith to throw. In his own end zone. No pressure. Throws over the middle. It is complete. Out to the 20. To the 25. To the 26-yard line. To the tight end. 20 seconds to play. Now they'll move the change. Washington gets up. That was DeBean instead of Nelson. Good for 18 yards. Michigan takes one of their timeouts. They have 2 left. Washington 25, Michigan 24. 20 seconds remaining in the football game. And a Husky defense that's lost linebackers. Struggled in the second half here. Going to come together with a young kid named Kelly and Krakowski. Stewart Hill, Mora. Suns played well. Don James, Vince Albritton, and Stewart Hill. A couple of veterans he's talking to right there. Krakowski, Robert Leapart. He has more experience than anybody else there. Talk to that defensive secondary now. Michigan. See the Husky crowd now with 20 seconds to go. Washington 25, Michigan 24. You will not see a better comeback the Huskies have had. But can they hold and beat the number 8 ranked team in the country, the Michigan Wolverines? First and 10 for Michigan. The ball at the 26. Smith to throw. Goes to the outside. Throws it out of bounds. 15 seconds to play. Dusty Jackson and Jim Mora back covering.
Well, they just
Steve Fuller, I'll tell you.
There's the guy.
That's the man today. Steve Johnson going to be going in the ball game here in just a second for Michigan. Bo Schembechler trying to come up with a play. Washington 25, Michigan 24. Washington leading 10-3 at the half. Fell behind 24-10. Only come back and grab the lead and go ahead on a 2-point conversion. Just a moment ago. 15 clicks left on the clock. Smith to throw. Second and 10 at the 26. Throws the outside. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Incomplete. He is really drilled by Krakowski on the far side. 9 seconds to play. 3rd and 10 for Michigan.
This has to go down as one of the great games here, doesn't it, Bruce?
I can't remember a game like this. Not one that had such a build-up to it. I remember the Alabama game.
I know there's been some good ones here in Husky Stadium, but this has got to rank up there with one of the, with the rest of them.
As you see, 9 seconds to play. Washington 25, Michigan 24. They need a first down. Throwing over the middle. Incomplete. They'll bring up a 4th down with 4 seconds to play. Intended for Nelson. Smith just missed him. Well, Smith, who was so good and played so well and didn't miss, now all at once is down to a final play. 4th and 10. Michigan still with a timeout left. Make it 2 timeouts left. But what do you do with 4 seconds to go? Another Johnson comes in, Gilvani Johnson. Well, there's no way you can go for the first down and stop the clock now. You got to go for it all. Huskies have defenders all the way back at their own 45. You play home run right now. Don't let them. First down. Smith to throw. Here it is. Throws deep to the outside. in and out of the hands of the receiver. Clock goes off. The Huskies win it 25-24. Don James and Bo Schembechler. Don James now 2-1 against Bo Schembechler. First time he's ever beat him, first time he's ever played him out of the Rose Bowl. Washington coming from 14 points down to win it 25-24. Incredible football game, wasn't it, Jimmy?
Oh, just one of the best I've ever seen. You know, I thought that Michigan, which they did, they had the momentum going there at the end, or after that tremendous third quarter that they had. But the Huskies rallied from the fumble and the touchdown in the end zone, and came right back on the next drive to go right down, I think 75 yards, and score, and got the momentum back. Tremendous performance by Steve Pallure.
It certainly was, and we'll be back to talk about the ball game. No, we have Steve Pallure on the sideline right now with Harry Sloan. Harry?
I tell you, it's just electrifying down here, Steve. That was one of the most amazing drives I've ever seen. 14 consecutive passes on 2 touchdown drives. Your feelings right now?
Shoot, I don't think you can explain it in words. I mean, just the cohesiveness of this team, the youngness, and it was just a great victory against one of the greatest teams in college football, and that's about all you can say.
You're down 24-10. You've got to come right back. Then you make the score. Then they miss a field goal, so your chances are still alive. You take them right down. You make the touchdown. Then you got to go for 2. What's going on in your head then?
I just, it was all or nothing, and they brought everybody, and Larry made a great catch in the end zone, and it couldn't have been any more picture perfect than it was.
I tell you,
it really was.
Great performance by you, Steve.
Thank you.
When the crowd went, did you hear the crowd after you made the 2?
You could hear everything. I mean, my mind was just going all over the place. It was a great win. It really was.
All right. We'll let you get in the locker room and enjoy it with your fellow players. Thank you very much, Steve Pallure. Just an electrifying moment. I'm telling you, when they hit that 2 points, Bruce, this crowd, you couldn't hear yourself down here. I couldn't believe it. Lance Don said you were in the trenches during all of that, those 2 great drives. What was it like down there?
Oh, it was good. They're the fastest players we played against this year for sure, and they're the best athletes. And going into the second half, we knew the whole game was going to last a complete 60 minutes. That's what everybody said to each other, and we knew we were going to have to play. It looked kind of doubtful at the beginning of the fourth quarter, but we just didn't give up. Coach James has trained us real well at the fight, for 60 minutes, and thank God today it worked out.
Boy, the third quarter was just nothing as far as the Huskies were concerned.
I think we had one series in the third quarter of about 6 plays, and then we had the 2 plays down here at the end of the field where the quarterback got sacked, and that was it. There was absolutely no offense at all. It was all Michigan that quarter.
To win is one thing. To win it in the way you did, it must be just thrilling as can be.
Oh, it is. It's the greatest. It's the best victory of my life. It's the first one I played the entire 60 minutes in, and to win like this, it's something I can always remember. My family's up, and it's something I'll talk about the rest of my life.
All right. Congratulations, Lance Dodson. A great job by you on the offensive line. A great job by the entire Husky team. It was quite a moment here at Husky Stadium. Bruce, let's go back upstairs to you.
No, Harry, I'll tell you, they're going to be talking about this one for years and years to come. Washington defeats Michigan 25-24 in one of the most electrifying and dramatic finishes ever at Husky Stadium. And we'll be back with more on the ball game right after this.
You've got a style that's all your own.
You find as many styles in running a business as you do in the business of running. At ONB, we'll make every effort to bank your business in the one style to which it's committed. Not ours, yours.
At ONB, we like to do it your way. That's our style.
Old Man Winter here for Shucks Fall into Winter Sale. Here's a cool one. Haviland Motor Oil. With Shucks everyday low price and Texaco's rebate, only 53 cents a quart. Your choice of 1040 or 30 weight heavy duty. And you wouldn't change oil without changing your filter. So Fram oil, air, fuel, and transmission filters are 40% off Shucks everyday low price. Shucks Fall into Winter Sale.
Shucks Auto Supply.
Be real soon.
Coming Sunday, September 18th.
He's coming right at us.
Meet a new breed of lawman with an old brand of justice.
Let him hear him and hang him. That's the way. Get him up, Scout.
They're calm.
Get back here!
They're cool.
Tell them Hardcastle's here and I want out.
They're the good guys who finish first.
Does anybody like you?
I hope not.
Hardcastle and McCormick coming Sunday, September 18th.
That special feeling on ABC.
Hello, this is J.J. Jackson. Thinking about buying a diamond but worried about getting your money's worth? And wouldn't it be nice to live in a house that's completely energy independent? It's possible, and we'll show you how. We'll also go behind the scenes of the Woodland Park Zoo, which is not a pleasant journey. And we'll meet a woman who lets her fingers do the talking, all the way to the Guinness Book of World Records, this weekend on Up Front.
As you can imagine, they are still buzzing here at Husky Stadium as the Huskies come from 14 points down to finally defeat Michigan by a score of 25-24, and one of the great finishes in the history of Husky football. Jim Moore, that was something else, wasn't it?
That was as exciting a game as I've seen in a long time, Bruce. Just tremendous, a great comeback by a team that was down and really came through under some tremendous adversity.
Washington leading 10-3 at the half. Fell behind Michigan by a score of 25-10. Michigan just dominated play in the third quarter and early in the fourth quarter. But the senior quarterback, Steve Pallur, came back, drove them down, scored a touchdown, made it 24-17. Michigan then missed a crucial field goal, sloppy field goal. And Washington, behind Steve Pallur, moved the length of the field to score. You will see now that winning touchdown toss that was made right here. The outside to Mark Patterson. Roosevelt High School goes up and makes the catch. Now, behind this, they still trail by a score of 24-23. What do? You go for two. You go for the win. Pallur back, big rush from the outside, as Jim mentioned the telecast. Throws to Larry Michael from East Wenatchee, the big tight end, who had a brilliant day today. And he goes up over the defender to make the catch, and that gives Washington a 25-24 win. It's still exciting, really, to see it right there.
Yes, it is, Bruce. There's no question about it. You know, Steve Pallur had a fantastic day, and we said earlier that the key to this team, the key to the success today and in the future is probably going to be the year he has, and he's certainly off to a good start.
He certainly is. 27 of 33 for 271 yards and a touchdown for Steve Pallur today. Now, that's some kind of performance, and Washington needed it because the Huskies finally got it turned around, got their offense going when they had all the problems with the defense, because defensively, Tim Meamber and Fred Small out with injuries, and they had to fill in. Your son, Jim Mora Jr., came and played very, very well during the ball game, in the late stages of the ball game. Key part of the defense. And so the Huskies, with Joe Kelly and Krakowski played very well as well. So the Huskies winning 25-24 over Michigan here today in a very, very exciting ball game. The Huskies now go on to travel to LSU, to Baton Rouge next week. And I'll tell you one thing, that Husky locker room is going to be jumping up and down, right?
Let's get down there and take part in the celebration.
Okay, we will. Washington against LSU from Baton Rouge next week. Again, we want to thank Jim Mora. Thank you very much for being with us today. And you'll go back and think about this, game all the way back on that airplane to Philadelphia. And we thank you again very much.
Thanks, Bruce. And I'm looking forward to next week. And if you think it was Bedlam here today, well, you get at Tiger Stadium down in Baton Rouge.
Just down there. Harry Sloan, thanks again. Working the sideline. Just an excellent job. Washington defeats Michigan today by a score of 25-24 in a game that was hard to believe. You can see the highlights tomorrow on Channel 4. You miss one they're going to be talking about for a long, long time. And if you haven't heard, Washington beat Michigan by a score of 25-24 in a dramatic finish. And Don James, you still have to be shaking your head saying, I don't believe we really did it, I would think.
Well, I would say that the odds are pretty stacked. They're pretty well stacked against you if you're down 2 scores with 9 minutes to go. But again, Steve just did a great job. The total offensive team, everybody involved, the competitors, the coaches, it was just an incredible fourth quarter. I guess that's the only way you can explain it.
You get down to that final drive. I mean, he completes, 15 out of 15.
the final 2 touchdowns after throwing that interception. And you get down to that final 2 points. Now, what was going through your mind? Was that, I mean, no question you were going to go for 2 in the win. You weren't going to go for the tie.
No, those decisions are really made early in the week. We hammer those things out. In non-conference games, we'll generally go for a win. In conference games, if you haven't got a defeat, it's a little bit better for you to get a tie than a loss. So we'd probably, if that would have been a conference game, going for the tie.
Some kind of football game, though. Was it the kind of game that you thought it would be, though, between you and Michigan? Steve Smith made a difference, though, didn't he, for Michigan?
Yeah, I don't think it would have been quite as tough on our defense if Steve Smith had not have played. He really took over. I mean, he made big plays running the ball, directing the offense, calling checkoffs, running to our weaknesses, exploiting some of our weaknesses, and then, of course, throwing the ball.
What are your feelings now about the fact that Michigan ends up scoring 24 points against you? Because your defense shuts out Northwestern the week before, and Michigan able to move the ball at sometimes would seem like relative ease.
Well, first of all, you have to go back and try to break it down a little bit, and the defense did only give up 17 points because that one touchdown was put on the board against the offense. The other thing, we were fortunate they went for a 4th and 2, which I'm not sure I would have had enough nerve to do that. We got off the hook there. That probably should have at least had 3 points. But in that first drive in the third quarter, that was a key third down play in there, we had an interception. And we lost the interception, and not only did that, we tipped the ball into their hands, and they kept a drive going for a touchdown. So there, you look for plays like that and say, where could we have gotten out of the drive? We let them off the hook on a 1st and 25. We let them off the hook on a 3rd and 20. And so our defense, obviously, is going to have to play a lot better than that.
Oh, but to beat Michigan, beat them at home, and the time when you and Bo, I know, are the deans of coaches in your conferences, big win and a lot of fun for you, I'm sure.
Well, a big day is kind of what it's all about, when you can get a full house and get a name opponent and go out and have a competitive football game. And that's the excitement, and I think that's probably why Bo Schembechler and Don James stay around this game.
It's a fun game. Fun game yesterday, and we'll have the highlights for you in just a minute. Good. The Huskies win the toss. They elect to receive. Soapy to kick it off. It's going to go to Danny Green, and he'll take it about at the 1. He'll run it back to the 21. As you see, he's up into there pretty good. So the Huskies will put it in play 1st and 10 at their own 21. You come right out throwing a football, Don.
Well, we start with this little tight end hook, and Michigan put it in for us. We've been running it a lot, and I think they saw it and liked the play, so, they ran it. Their tight end had a great time with it, too. That's Larry Michaels for 7.
Up the middle, Hunt dives for 2. Now, he carried the ball 12 times in the game, more than anybody else.
Yeah, we had a lot of short yardage situations, and, of course, here we go with the quarterback sneak on a 3rd and 1 for Steve Pelluer.
Huskies get the first down, their first down of the ball game. 1st and 10 now at the 32. Now, defensively, they doing anything different than what you expected?
No, they've been pretty consistent over the last 10 years. They're a slant team. They'll line up in an angled slant. They're a pretty good defensive team. They're a little younger than they've been. They'll get better.
Pelluer to Hunt, incomplete as you see. So it brings up a 3rd and 10 at the 32. Pelluer again to throw.
This is a great intermediate pattern that our coaches put in for Michigan. It's one off of the Larry Michaels hook that we threw in the first play. Now you see Larry Michaels go down the hook right in front of that linebacker. Now he's reading right through Steve. There's Larry, see him right there? Mm-hmm. Okay, now in the intermediate zones, about 15 yards, is Dave Stransky.
So the Huskies get the first down at the 48. And Pelluer, just a brilliant day yesterday. Hines for 5 up the middle.
It's a trap play, and Brosey and Mallory made excellent hits. And, a lot of people in that last play may wonder why, the safeties weren't there, but we had our split end driving deep.
Now, you fumble away the football right here. On 2nd and 5, the ball just gets away from Hunt, and Michigan's going to take over. Great field position. 1st and 10 at the 46.
It's really hard to tell what happened there. It was,
yeah, we didn't have a slow-mo replay of it either, so we couldn't isolate on it.
Steve had plenty of time to get the ball in there, so I just, it's a simple handoff play.
2nd and 9. Smith, Steve Smith. He completes to Nelson, his tight end. As you say, they like to throw the tight end, too.
Well, that was a bootleg, and our linebackers were really frozen there as he faked. See him fake there? See, now our 2 inside linebackers have to stay there with that fake. Now Smith comes out, and now you